I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Leash. Listen, if Sick and Tired was a person, George Stephanopoulos is that person. Please watch this clip.
Than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Your boy was like, I'm not here for the bullshit today. I am not here for the bullshit. Oh, that was everything. And you know what? This needs to be the standard moving forward. Because like even seeing like Trump when he's on, different news platforms or he's at different press conferences and these journalists are asking questions and he is just going off the rails, or even what's her name, Caroline Levitt, her crazy self, like just being so evil and cruel to journalists. And it's just like, they're doing their job. Why aren't you? Like, why aren't you actually doing something for the American people? Yeah, George, you did that. A1 for sure.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that.
And that is exactly how you shut it down. Stephanopoulos pressed J.D. Vance about reports surrounding Tom Homan, a former border czar who was allegedly caught on FBI video surveillance, accepting $50,000 in cash. The question was simple, but did he keep the money or return it? But instead of answering, Vance dodged, deflected, and tried to spin it into a partisan attack. Pressed, Vance called it a left-wing rabbit hole. But Stephanopoulos didn't back down, kept the question focused, and refused to let the conversation get hijacked. Finally, after multiple evasions, George ended the segment with that now viral line, "You did not answer the question," and that right there is what accountability looks like. Calm, direct, no yelling, just naming the dodging and moving on. Now, why didn't J.D. Vance just answer the question? Politically, it's because it's a lose-lose situation. If he says yes, he confirms corruption inside his own administration. If he says no, and evidence later proves otherwise, he's tied to a cover-up. So what does he do? He hides behind vague language, hoping to survive the moment without leaving a soundbite that could hurt him later. But evasion is a soundbite. And when you're in office, silence can say more than any answer. This moment isn't about whether or not you like George Stephanopoulos or J.D. Vance. It's about whether the truth still matters while cameras are rolling. When politicians dodge, they're not outsmarting the press. They're disrespecting the people watching at home, because voters deserve clarity, not calculated silence. And when journalists stand their ground, when they refuse to let an evasive answer pass as truth, that's not bias. That's doing the job.
Hi guys, this is Tina and you're welcome back to the channel. So imagine you are the vice president of United States and a journalist asks if your top border sir took 50,000 US dollars from the FBI in a sting operation. What will you do? Vance tried to talk his way out, but George wasn't letting that slide. Well, let's watch people's reactions to this. But before we do, please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving.
George Stephanopoulos was like, get this angry Cabbage Patch doll off my screen, okay? Please tell me that y'all saw the interview between JD Vance and George Stephanopoulos. George was like, listen, did Tom Holland get that $50,000 or not? JD over there talking about everything but what he asked him. George said, I'm going to ask you one more time. Did he get that $50K or not? He ain't answered the question. He was like, all right, bet. Hang up on you, not in the mood. Interview just ended abruptly. He was like, thank you for your time, goodbye. Listen, and that's how you supposed to handle that administration. And that's why they act like that, because they think everybody's supposed to be scared of them. Listen, why would I be scared of a man that looked like an angry Care Bear, okay? You look like a Teletubby. You look like something Courage the Cowardly Dog would be scared of. Like, get this angry Cabbage Patch doll on somewhere. That was the most funny interview I have saw in quite some time, because really he wasn't even trying to answer the question. He was trying to deflect, and George was like, listen, I ain't got time for whatever you talking about. I'm asking you about the 50 G's, and you up here.
I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
So this morning, the vice president of our country was on ABC News with George Stephanopoulos, who is married to old girl from Dharma and Greg. I always forget that. But he was on there. He asked a question about Tom Homan, the $50,000 that he was offered in the bribe, the situation that no one will answer outside of saying that there was not sufficient evidence to charge him with a crime. And JD Vance, I think they have it's not a think, because there was a zoom in on the paperwork that Pam Bondi had at her hearing with Congress, where it showed a pre-written list of reads and comebacks for anything that people said. And then when she ran out of her quips, she was silent. As an attorney, as someone who's supposed to be quick on their feet, I'm sad that you needed a cheat sheet, but I digress. I believe JD Vance also has a JD. I know I think so, possibly. That being said, JD Vance's response, you're putting forward this terrible statement, and this is why no one watches your show. This is why your ratings are terrible. This is why you're losing your show. And George Stephanopoulos lets him say his things. And then George comes back and says, I just want to say, essentially, I asked you about this situation that was recorded by the FBI. And did he keep the money? Because no one will tell us if he kept the money. They'll tell us he wasn't charged. They won't say if he kept the $50,000, right? And George Stephanopoulos let him finish speaking and then reiterated, I asked you a simple question. And then JD Vance tried to come back in and interject foolishness, and George cut him off, sent it to commercial. Now, on like a nuclear level, this is beautiful, because the real thing is, yes, they're going to own pieces of TikTok. Yes, they're going to have these platforms, but these people have been involved in these platforms. I don't know why we acting like that's not new. We just are seeing some clear evidence of it. But two, they do need mainstream spaces, because they want to reach, if people who were already on their side were entrenched and that's all they had, they would not continue to accomplish these things that they are doing, right? They have to be able to spread false information to the masses, because more people are moderate than you think. More people are moderate than you think, right? And so there's just basic beauty in like cutting him off. But our president's grift, these companies giving him $20, $30, $40 million to build the ballroom. I mean, they're dropping millions of dollars, and they're not taking him to court. They're just settling and just ending it. Started with ABC and George Stephanopoulos. It started with ABC. And so that's been the fuel that our president has utilized to continue to weaponize his position as the highest power in the land to bully these networks and these entertainment entities to do his bidding, and then weaponizing the FCC to do so as well. Because if these business deals can't go through, these people can't maintain their position of power through capitalism, of course. But if that's just the cherry on top, is that y'all, George, who has been an incredible journalist for decades, for y'all to play on his top. And then more so for you, why would you come back to a platform for a man that you said is a chronic liar and has terrible ratings? Why are you here? Why take your ass over to Fox News? I am pretty sure that they did not campaign to have you come up there and have a conversation, JD Vance. I am pretty sure that your team reached out. Go on over there. Have Brian Kilmeade have the conversation. But that was really juicy to witness, and George did it in such a classy way. And that is what journalists do. Not podcasters, not girls who went to YouTube University, journalists. Okay.
I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Governor
George, I
J.D.
said that I
Vance
don't.
is up next. We'll be right back.
Do you see the way he cut him off? George Stephanopoulos just cut J.D. Vance off at the knees. And that's what we need more of. We need to stop platforming these people. People like this Jubilee concept and having these politicians come on and spending all this time asking them questions that they will not answer. And then most media members, most journalists move on to the next. They just move on to the next. No, hold their feet to the fire. If you have to use your entire segment to try to get one answer, then it shows the ridiculousness of the fact that they can't provide one solid answer. George Stephanopoulos completely castrated J.D. Vance by cutting him off, emasculated that man by cutting him off and not allowing him to get another sentence in, because it doesn't do any good. People like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump just ramble on, roll on to the next thing, and they get a pass every single time because the media doesn't want to get bogged down on one question. They want to keep rolling. It is unacceptable. And it is bad journalism. And we need more people like this who are just going to end the conversation point blank and cut him off.
George Stephanopoulos cutting off J.D. Vance because he didn't answer the question was elite. And that's what the media needs to start doing. When they don't answer the question, they answered the question. Move along, tell them they didn't answer the question, just don't let them answer it again. They've already answered. They answered without answering.
So guys, he could have said yes, no, or I don't know, but we choose silence. Sometimes silence on national TV says more than any answer ever could. What do you think, guys? Well, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Please do well to like, share, and of course, subscribe to keep the channel moving. Till next time, bye.